Good morning. Back here on the wrecker. Show you another scarce and valuable thing here in the state of Ohio this time of year. You don't hardly ever see the sunshine. And it's only here for part of the day, which is cool. And it's going to be like 76 today, so we'll take it. Anyway, waiting on the drive shaft for this truck. Waiting on some brake lines and brake pad stuff. I'm going to go ahead and grease the rear end or lube it, whatever you want to call it. Fill it full of lube. Put new brake pads on it. I did put the cover back on it last night, and I went down and whenever they removed it, they cut the rubber brake line, the splitter line, and then they smashed the line that went from the splitter over to the right side caliper. And then the right side caliper line, I damaged it trying to get this end out. So we got all that coming. Be here Monday, and there's like 3 different sets of brake pads available for this truck. So I'm going to take the caliper off today or tomorrow and actually take them in. Make it a lot less confusing. I'm pretty sure this is one of the heaviest duty 1-ton rear ends you can get. Like I said, the cover's back on. I'll go ahead and want to get the rear end completely ready to set under the truck before I go through all the process of doing it. I don't see any value in going ahead and putting it under there and then laying under there beating around on it any more than necessary. So that's where we're at. So I'm waiting on the drive shaft and waiting on brake parts, and I did get the fitting to fix that straight hose that's sticking straight up, so I can turn it into a 90. That way the deck will go across there, because that top of that white metal there will be the bottom of the deck, and I don't want to kink that hose off. So I got a little 90 swivel that goes on there. That'll fix that. You get down to Lowe's and get 1 1/4 inch 45 for the hydraulic tank neck, the fill tube. I did get a muffler on the truck. Sounds good. This does have the normal Ford exhaust leak at the exhaust manifolds. Well, while I'm waiting on all these parts, I decided to go ahead and start the wiring. Took the dash cover off. You got a big area right here on these Ford dashes. Put your switches. There's nothing in behind it. It's that area there between the heater controls and steering column. You got that whole area. What I recommend, and I'm not telling you you do yours this way, I guess I don't recommend it, but the way I do them is this is a battery cable, and I fish this out through the firewall, and it'll be hooked directly to battery voltage, and I use one of these. It's just a battery isolated or insulated stainless bolt. They mold it into a piece of plastic, and it'll bolt right here under the truck, under the cover, and I'll have battery voltage right there. I see these guys, and I've bought many trucks, and they'll have 60 feet or more of frickin' 10 and 12 gauge wire running all the way to their battery, or cobbled up into the fuse box. Looks like some crazy person's been wiring it up. But anyway, I use that, and then I go off of there with individual fuse holder type harnesses. Now, I'm not telling you that's how you should do it, but you put that on there, and I let off of that onto whatever gauge wire you need and put a fuse in it to each device. It's a matter of 4 quick disconnects right here to get in there and change your fuses. It's simple, it's quick. I bought a little fuse block I might use to mount in here to make it a little neater, but I've been around electricians all my life, and one thing I know about them is no matter what you do, one of them will have a comment. And usually, it's like most things, there's 10 different ways to make something work. As long as you have a good ground, a good power source, and you have it fused, you should be okay. Now, there's a lot of wiring in a wrecker people don't realize. Going to the back, for instance, you'll have double sets of stop tail turns. You have them up here on your tree or up on top of your up on your cab or up on your wrecker tree, however you want to do it. And you have your set at the back as well. So you have twice the tail lights, and then I'm going to wire up a plug, trailer plug for it, because this will have a Reese hitch receiver welded onto the wheel lift. And then you have two work lights, one there and one there. Then you have two work lights up on the tree or in the beacon. Then you have your flashers. Then you have your strobes or rotators. And then if you're smart, you'll have a few work lights in your toolboxes. So you're not trying to find J-hooks and whatnot, straps in the middle of the night with no light out there with a damn flashlight. So that's where that's at. Plus you have a license plate light. That pretty much covers the electronics on the back. Now the only real extra you need to add to the front is I will run a set of cables out here off the battery and bolt a quick disconnect to the front of this somewhere in the grill area to I've got a quick disconnect 40 foot I think they are, or 50 foot set of heavy gauge, no, they're 25 or 35 foot of heavy gauge jumper cables that'll plug in, and that plug will also double for a quick disconnect from my 8,000 pound electric mile marker winch. So I will mount a Reese hitch in the front of this truck somewhere as well. If I ever need to put the winch in the front of it, I'll have power there. And we're also going to put double batteries in the truck just for reliability and jump starting cables. So that's where we're at, and I will add to that later if I get anything done. And one thing, I'll show you a mistake I made. When I had this gas tank out and I fabricated the holders and I put it back in, I don't know if you can see way down in there, but I've actually pinched off this, let me see in focus, you piece of crap, where this line goes in there. It's just a vent hose, but I have it pinched down in there. So I'm getting ready to, I just noticed it, I'm getting ready to try and it's pinched between the fuel tank and a piece of strap that I welded in there. So it needs to come up a couple inches and it'll be in this area here, it'll be fine. So hopefully I don't have to drop the gas tank, but I'm gonna fix that today. Either that or I'll have to cut this and route around it. I'm not taking the gas tank out completely. It's too big a pain in the ass. But we'll either do that or splice the line together. But that's where we're at. Sun's shining. I mean, I've got a flannel on. It's about to come off. It's that warm out here. So thankful for that, and hope everybody's having a good Saturday. And thanks for watching. If you can, like and subscribe.